Hi everybody, welcome to another crochet tutorial, and this time I'm going to be showing you how to make a conker or horse chestnut from the horse chestnut tree, which is a really fun little project, quite interactive because it pops out, so great project for children to enjoy. And this was actually inspired by a knitting pattern that I saw, and I thought how great that would be as a crochet pattern. And another good reason for making this and designing this is for the Woolen Woods 2015 project. And I don't know if you've heard of the Woolen Woods 2015 project, which is going on in the UK at the moment. But it's an enchanting outdoor art installation featuring hundreds of woodland theme, little woodland theme woolen artworks, such as this little conker. Which is in support of the Campaign for Wool. I don't know if you've heard of the Campaign for Wool. I'll put some links in the description below to all these things I'm talking about. But it's basically a project, and they're ready now to asking for lovers of wool and natural products to get involved and start crocheting or knitting or felting all sorts of little woodland themed creations. So, and I've been assisting them by sharing some of my flower patterns, which you can find on their website. But I thought this would be a great addition as well, this little conker. So, and the art installation is going to take place in 5 woody locations around the UK. And basically when all these little woodland themed creations are made, then they're going to be hung or placed around the trees in these woods around the UK. So that's quite good fun. But I'll put some links in the description for more information about it, so you can go check it out. But today I'm going to be showing you how to make this little horse chestnut conker creation, and we're going to be using a selection of chunky weight yarns. So these are a yarn weight of 5, but you can use worsted weight, Aran weight as well if you wanted to. But we're going to be using a green and a white for the outer shell, and for the actual conker itself, let's pop them out. I used a dark brown last time, but that's quite dark to see on camera, so I'm going to swap it for a slightly lighter brown, which is still a really good conker colour. And also you're going to need a slightly lighter brown to go with that for this bit at the front, which I'm sure has a technical name, but I don't know it. But you don't have to worry too much about the weights of your yarn, as long as they're sort of around chunky Aran worsted weights. And also these are very different types of chunky weight yarns as well, so it's all a bit of, you know, get diving into that your yarn scraps and have a play with some of your old yarns that you've probably forgotten about, because I'd forgotten about this one. But we're going to be using a 4mm G crochet hook to go with our chunky yarns, and you're also going to need a yarn needle and a pair of scissors as well. It's always handy. And oh, my tap's dripping. You're also going to need some toy stuffing as well for just stuffing the little conker. But you can use yarn scraps as well. If you don't have any toy stuffing, that's fine. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is the little conker. And so we're going to take our lighter brown to begin with. And the first thing we're going to do is to chain 4. Okay, so we're going to chain 4 to begin. Do our little slip knot, and then we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, chain 4, and then we're just going to put our hook into our first chain, just into that first chain, and bring the yarn through that first chain, then straight through the loop on your hook, and that forms a little loop of your 4 chains, which are joined at the beginning and the end. And in the middle is a little hole, if you can see there, a little hole. Don't confuse it with your chain 1, you need to find that centre hole of the loop. We're going to put our hook into that centre in the middle, and we're going to work 6 single crochet around our chain. So we're just going to bring it through the middle, bring the yarn through the middle, and then wrapping it around the chains, we're going to do a single crochet. And this pattern is in US terminology, so I apologise to those that prefer UK terminology. I'm afraid the accent may lead you astray. But we're going to do 6 of these single crochets. So we're going to do done one, then we're going to go back into the center, and ignoring how many chains you got, you just want to wrap the single crochet around the chains. You want 6, so it's 2. Go back into the center, and the center hole gets easier to see the more stitches you do. 3, center, just bringing it through the middle. 4, 5, and then one more, 6. Okay, so we've got 6 single crochet, and then we can just pull our tail end just to bring in that hole just a little bit, because she'll come in a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to slip stitch into our first single crochet. So putting your hook into your first single crochet, going under one bit of yarn, under another bit of yarn. Bring the yarn through that first single crochet, then straight through the loop on your hook to do a slip stitch. And there we go. So by the end of that round you should have 6 single crochet. What we're going to do now is we're going to chain 1. We don't need to, normally in my videos you may hear me say to bring up our hook. We're not going to worry about that this time. What we're going to do is we're just going to chain 1 straight away, and we're going to ignore that chain 1. We're not going to count it as a stitch. So I'm going to do a little something a bit different and create a neater join. So we're going to ignore our little chain 1, but we're going to do 2 single crochet in the same first single crochet from the previous round. So the one you've just slip stitched into, you want to go back into there and do 2 single crochet. So 1 back into that same single crochet, that first one, or another. So you've got 2 single crochet in there. So we're ignoring our chain 1, and so far we've done 2 stitches now, 2 single crochet. We're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so go into the next stitch, do 2 single crochet, 1 and 2. Then we go into the next stitch, do 2 single crochet, 1 and so back into the same stitch, 2. And go into the next stitch and do 2 single crochet, 1 and 2. Go into the next stitch and do 2 single crochet, 1 and another one in the same stitch, 2, and then 2 single crochet in the last stitch, 1 and another one in the same stitch, 2. And it may look like you've got another stitch left, but don't get confused by what I call the fake stitch. You just want to check your stitch count now to make sure you've got to the end, and you should have a stitch count of 12 because we've done 2 in each of those 6, so that doubles up to 12. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 and 12. So we know we've got 12, so we know we've reached the end. So what we can do now, we don't need to bother finding our chain 1, we're going to go and slip stitch into that first single crochet that we did. So find that first single crochet, put your hook in there, and normally we would yarn over with our light brown colour. We're actually going to yarn over with the colour you want to make your conker with. Okay, so I've got this sort of strange lighter auburny browny colour, which is a really nice colour. Almost looks like the way it's woven like that, it's really pretty. Anyway, we're going to bring that through our first single crochet, then straight through the loop on your hook. Okay, and just pull your tail ends nice and tight. Now we're working with, we've joined our round, and now we're working with our new colour. You should still have a stitch count of 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay. So moving on to the next round. The next round's a bit odd, and I say that it's just so it's about hiding some of the stitches. We need to do like a little slip stitch round. So it's a little bit odd, but not difficult. And what we're going to do is we're going to chain one again. Remember to just ignore that as a stitch, okay? And we are going to do a slip stitch in the same first single crochet that we just slip stitched into. So the one you just slip stitched into to join the new colour. I'm going to put our hook back into there, okay, back into there, and do a slip stitch. So you're going to bring the yarn through that single crochet you slip stitched into, bring the yarn through there, and then straight through the loop on your hook, and that does a slip stitch. We're going to do one slip stitch in each stitch around. So go into the next stitch, bring the yarn through that, and bring it straight through the loop on your hook. Let's do another slip stitch. Go into the next stitch and do a slip stitch. Next stitch, do a slip stitch. And so on and so forth. So you're just doing one slip stitch into each stitch around, okay? Back to the beginning. So you've still got a stitch count of 12. Okay, just come up to the last one. So when you get back to the beginning, what we're going to do is, remember that's our fake stitch that's trying to trick us, and if you pull your yarn, that should disappear a bit. We want to slip stitch into our first slip stitch and not the chain one that's hidden down there. You want to find your first slip stitch and you want to put your hook into there. There we go. So put your hook through that first slip stitch and then slip stitch into there to join the round. So you've still got a stitch count of 12, and what that does, it just makes it look a little bit neater and neater join, more like a real conker. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the next round, and we're going to chain one, and again ignore that as a stitch, but what you want to do is you want to actually tuck these slip stitches down, because we're going to work back into these same lighter brown stitches around here. So finding the first one there, we're going to put our hook into there. I'll try and show you this. Tuck that out tail end out of the way. So you want to find that first light brown single crochet and put your hook back into there. This is where it pays off having long nails. There we go, a little bit tight the first one. So you want to put your hook back into that first light brown single crochet. You're ignoring your slip stitches, and into there you want to single crochet. You want to do one single crochet in there. Okay, so do one single crochet in there, and then in the next light brown stitch, so again don't go into your slip stitches, go back into the light brown stitch and do two single crochet. Should be a bit easier to get into the next one. So two single crochet, one and another one in the same stitch. Okay. Then in the next light brown stitch we're going to do one single crochet, then in the next light brown stitch we do two single crochet. So you're alternating between doing one single crochet then two single crochet. So one and back into the same stitch for the second, two. And then go back to doing one single crochet in the next light brown stitch, one single crochet, then two single crochet in the next light brown stitch, two single crochet, one, tail ends out the way, one and another one in the same stitch, two. In there, got a little knot in the yarn. Then go back to doing one single crochet in the next light brown stitch, just the one, then two single crochet in the next stitch, next light brown stitch, one and another one in the same stitch, 2 in there. Okay. Then go back to doing 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochet, 1 and another one in the same stitch, 2. And then in the next stitch, just the 1 single crochet, just the 1. That should leave you with just 1 light brown stitch, and in there we're going to do 2 single crochet. Okay, 1 and back into there for another 1, 2. Okay, so that's the end of the fiddliness, and you should have a stitch count now. Should have gone up to 18. Okay, should 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 and 18. So finding that first single crochet that you did, we want to put our hook into there and do a little slip stitch to join the round. So find that first single crochet and do a little slip stitch to join the round. So you should have a stitch count of 18, and it should look a little something like that. Okay, then we're just going to do a simple round of doing a chain 1, and again we're going to ignore that as a stitch, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the same stitch that we just slip stitched into. So go back into that stitch again that you just slip stitched into and do a single crochet. We're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so you've still got a stitch count of 18. So it's 1 in the next stitch, 2, 1 in the next stitch, 3, next stitch, 4, 17, and the last stitch, 18. So 1 single crochet in each stitch around, then find your first single crochet, not the chain 1, ignore the chain 1, first single crochet, and do a little slip stitch into that first single crochet. You should still have a stitch count of 18, and it should look like that, hopefully. Then we're just going to close up our little conker, these tail ends inside. You can actually cut this light brown one out the way, stop it getting all twisted, and just tuck that inside as well. And what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 1 again, chain 1 again, and do the same thing again. The single crochet you just slip stitched into, we're going to go back into there and do a single crochet, just 1 single crochet in the same stitch you slip stitched into. Then we're going to single crochet 2 together, and to do that we go in the next stitch and bring the yarn through, but we stop and we go into the next stitch and bring the yarn through, so you've got 3 loops. We yarn over, pull for all 3. That reduces 2 stitches down to 1. Then we're going to just do 1 single crochet in the next stitch without getting in a tangled mess. Just 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together. So go into the next stitch, pull through, stop, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull for all 3 to single crochet 2 together. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch by itself, and then we single crochet 2 together again, next stitch, next stitch, 3 loops, yarn over, pull for all 3. Then we do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, just the 1, and then we single crochet the next 2 together, next stitch, pull through, stop, next stitch, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull for all 3. Then 1 single crochet in the next stitch by itself, single crochet 2 together, then 1 single crochet in the next stitch by itself, and then we single crochet the last 2 together. And then all we do is we find that first single crochet, so ignore the chain 1, we want the first single crochet, put your hook in there and do a slip stitch to join the round, and that reduces your stitch count back down to 12. Okay, and what you probably want to do now is to stuff your little conker. So just get a little bit of toy stuffing, however much. You probably won't need a vast amount, and then just stuff your little conker at this point. Okay, so when you've finished stuffing your conker, just going to finish up on the last round. We're going to chain one again, don't count that as a stitch, and we're going to go straight into single crocheting 2 stitches together, but we need to start in the same stitch that we slip stitched into. So go back into that same single crochet you slip stitched into in the last round, bring the yarn through, stop, then go into the next stitch, bring the yarn through, so you've got your 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3, single crochet those 2 together, and then we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together until the end. Okay, so go into the next stitch, pull through, then the next stitch, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. Crochet together 5 and 6. Single crochet the next 2 together. Single crochet the next 2 together. 7 and 8. Single crochet the next 2 together. 9 and 10. It's a little bit fiddly. Then single crochet the last 2 together. 11 and 12. And just finish up by slip stitching into that first stitch which has been single crocheted together. You can get your hook in there. Okay, then all we're going to do is sew up the remaining hole closed. So I'm just going to cut my yarn. Finished with that, which is lucky because there's not much left. Then just pull the yarn up, get your yarn needle, thread your tail end onto the yarn needle, and we're going to sort of drawstring the finished close. The remaining hole closed. We're going to go into the next stitch, then out through the next stitch. Just pull it gently, the stuffing sticking out. Then go into the next stitch, then out through the next stitch. Just pull it tight, and you can see it drawstrings closed. Then into the next stitch and out the next stitch. So you can do a neater job than me, because I seem to have stuffing coming out everywhere. There we go. And then just hide your tail end. We just sew into the conker anywhere you like and come out anywhere you like, preferably out through a stitch. And don't pull too tightly, but just press your project down, hold your tail end, cut as close as you can. Then when you let go, the end tail just disappears on the inside. And there we go, and the little drawstring creates a little nubbin at the end. It's better seen on this one actually, for your little conker. So there you go, there is your finished conker. And now we're going to move on to making the casing for it to go into. Okay.